Looks like one of our development parts didn't fare too well in testing. I've put it on hold for now. You can restart work from the laptop. We're going to have to go back now and make some adjustments in order to get the final numbers looking more like we were expecting from the simulation.
Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are here for the British Grand Prix, round number 10 of season number 7, and straight away you can see we've had a development failure on one of the parts for the aerodynamics on the car for this race. Well, what could potentially be my last update and aero upgrade on this car, you never know. We'll find out after this episode. But if you guys did miss the last race at Austria, do check it out in the card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screen. But we are here in Silverstone, my home race, and practice was actually underway in wet conditions, though eventually it would dry out and we went onto the dry tyres and got our session and practice programs underway, and it's a very good session. The car felt brilliant around here. I'd say this is the track where it's felt the best all season, just like last year where the car was absolutely incredible last year and we got pole. This year exactly the same again. The car is just on rails around here and the lap times are so quick, pushing 1 minute 25s. It's absolutely incredible, and really positive signs going into qualifying. Now first of all, obviously before if we do the part of the team, I'm sort of preparing myself. I'm going to buy the upgrade for the team anyway, which is the major aero one. I'm going to get that for the team anyway, and for myself personally for this race weekend now, I'm going to actually put on a new turbocharger and control electronics for qualifying and the race because they were really worn, especially the turbocharger. So we're jumping to qualifying, and I'm looking forward to it. Nice sunny skies, and it's going to be a session that's going to be packed out of action, and I can tell you the field is really close around here, so any mistake is going to result in a big grid drop position, so you need to get your lap absolutely perfect. And straight away in Q1, going out on the fastest super soft compound tyres, and the lap was really good, not a single mistake, and we come across the line and we go fastest of everybody and top of the pile in Q1, and that will see us comfortably through into Q2 as we go through in first place ahead of Sebastian Vettel there. Felipe Massa getting through also in 7th place in the other Williams car. But then in Q2 we went for the slower soft tyres as it is tradition. Now we've got this car pretty well developed, we can go for the slower tyre in Q2, and also it's important because this actually opens up the one-stop strategy in tomorrow's race instead of the two-stop. This will allow us to go for the one-stop and save having to do an extra stop through that very long and slow pit lane. And the lap itself was really good, got it all hooked up nicely, nice and clean, and we are going to go fastest, even faster than Alonso by about 0.8 of a second. So a very good lap there in Q2. Eventually we would drop down to P6 obviously on the tyre difference, but we were the only guys to go through on soft, so that's quite a different strategy there compared to the other guys around me. And then in Q3, unfortunately on my first attempt we cut the corner at Maggot, so it all lies on our second attempt. I finished the lap anyway because I wanted to get a delta lap time, so I know if this lap is good on that delta, then I know I'm going to be good for position. So here we go, now through 1 and 2 into turn 3, which is Village, 4th gear action, open up the corner for turn 4. You want to really try and attack the apex, pick up the traction as soon as you're there out of 4 into 5, which is flat out and onto the Wellington straight. DRS wide open for the first of 2 zones in this track, and then we brake hard at the 50 metre board for Brooklands here, down at 5th gear, then down at 4th momentarily to get the nose in, then a short screw on the power down into Luffield, turn number 7 on the power, slowly then open it up right on the exit, open up the track as much as you can, flat out through Woodcut, and then we're looking at Cops Corner, the old turn 1, pretty much flat out, very simple, no real challenges now in this car anymore, and it's just a question of trying to turn the steering wheel the least amount possible to not scrub off any speed. Now Maggots and Beckett's flat out, little lift and a downshift through here, and then a little bit of braking into Chapel, and then on the power nice and early, using the track as much as you can, open up the DRS, and we are currently 3.5 tenths up, so really good lap so far, and we're looking very good for pole position here, maybe into 1 minute 24 if we're lucky. But here we go now through Stowe, the final couple of corners on the limit of the grip here as we now look for the break point into the Val chicane, bang on the 100 metre board, down a 4th gear, possibly 3rd, I prefer 4th for traction, and then really get the traction now through this final long swooping corner as we come up to the line, and we go first place with a 1 minute 24.9, the only man in the 1 minute 24s, and a very good lap in qualifying there. And that was one of my better laps of the season, not a single mistake in that qualifying lap, and the pressure was on. We couldn't make any mistakes because we messed up our first attempt, and we got it right, and we get poled by just over a quarter of a second. So overall, very good session for us, and a very good potential final qualifying in the Williams team. So let's jump into the race now for Sunday, and let's see if we can convert this pole position into a possible race win. It's time for the race. It's race time. We are here for the British Grand Prix. Pole position and first place on the grid for the race here today. And there is one thing on my mind, and it's winning the race. Second place in my mind, the second thing that I'm worried about is if I get offered contract offers in this Grand Prix, because it's very possible we might not get nothing at all. So we have to be realistic here. But I'm hoping I do. And also I'm hoping they're actually decent contract offers. I've got 3 teams in mind which I want to go to, and if I get offered any of those 3, I'm probably going to jump ship. And 2 of those teams are a worse car than what I've got right now, and one of them is better. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. There's a little teaser for you, but let's hope and let's see what we get offered first. And even before that, we've got to try and win this race. Now, Silverstone, I love the track. You know, qualifying was absolutely perfect. The lapping Q3 was one of the best laps I've driven in qualifying ever on this career period. I just got it absolutely perfect. And in terms of the strategy for the race today, you can see on the screen, the reason we went for the softs in Q2 is because we get the chance to go for the one-stop strategy, which is so much better because the pit lane around here is so long and so slow. But anyway, no rain expected, no sun expected, just an overcast one here today. And fuel-wise, we are bang on target for 26 laps, no more and no less. So hopefully it'll work out okay for us. We need to try and be aggressive and hold on to our lead in the first lap here. And hopefully we can try and crack on with it. I might be under pressure from super soft tyre runners around me, but you never know. Hopefully we might be okay. But let's jump into it now for round number 10 for the British Grand Prix. Here we go then, getting ready for the 5 red lights. And we are away at Silverstone. It's a pretty decent start for the line from us, but we get a few people behind who get a really good start, namely at Force India, where we're going to go around the outside of, I think it's Sergio Perez who got that good start. It's a Force India 2-3 at the moment, which is pretty impressive, but we've managed to hold on to our lead, which is good news for us, and now we've got to try and settle into race rhythm and race mode and try and see if we have the race pace on this tyre. I feel like I might come under pressure from the Force India, especially because it's so bloody quick in a straight line, but I'm not too worried. I think we can keep them at bay and we can drive a good race here today. Like I said, the one stop's going to help me out. There is a real possibility, and it's happened before. I remember last season, the Force Indias, I think Perez started on the super softs and went for the one stop onto the medium. So with that in mind, we cannot let Perez pass just in case if he goes for the one stop strategy as well. So right now we've got to hold this position as much as we can because there's no guarantees on the 2-stop strategy. So let's head into this race. Me and Perez have broken away here, so I wonder how long we can keep breaking away for. I think I won here last season, and it was one of the best races I remember I ever drove because I was so consistent for the 26 laps. I'm hoping for more of the same today, but here comes Perez. I'm going to go defensive early on. He's got a run on me, no DRS, but he decides to not commit to a move, so I can come back onto the racing line quite calmly. So Perez really showing his teeth a little bit, which is something we've got to be aware of. Fastest lap as expected, but Ocon is the man who's caught up to me and Perez now. It's a 3-car breakaway. Whoever's in fourth cannot keep up, but right now myself, Perez and Ocon are running away with it at the front. Personal best 29.3, but that lap Perez was the man who really stepped up the pace and did a purple middle sector. We've actually shaken off Ocon a little bit, but right now I'm setting a good pace. I'm actually managing to sort of keep these Force Indias uncomfortable because they're having to push, and I'm not really allowing them to get close enough. I'm still sort of stretching my lead. The gap to P4 is absolutely massive now, so at the moment it is literally just a 3-car fight here for the race win, and right now Perez is the only man that's challenging me. He had a little look there into Brooklands, but I thought better of it as we hold on for a little bit longer here. Perez is getting very close this lap. He might have a little look into Brooklands. Yes, he does. Didn't think he was going to, but he did in the end. He stuck his nose in there. I'm going to have to hold it around the outside. He's now got the outside into Luffield. I'm going to hold it on the inside line. Side by side action here. Power down early. And there we go. We just sort of block past him on the exit. And we hold on to our lead, which is good signs. I mean, I definitely got the straight line speed. And I've still got plenty of tyres to match these guys. So I'm not concerned. But anyway, we hold on for a bit longer here. I think the Force India super softs are just starting to let go a little bit now. I'm just starting to break them up a little bit and shake them off. I think if they didn't have DRS, they'd be struggling to keep up. But my pace now is so consistent, they're really just struggling to keep in touch. Also, whoever's in 4th and 5th have broken away from that little train of cars and they're starting to catch up now. So, interesting developments here. But so far, we're holding on quite nicely to our lead. That little Perez attempt of an overtake was a little warning sign, and we've now just matched our personal best. And we're pushing hard now, we're trying to really stretch these Force Indias out. Right, one of the Force Indias has come in, reset a personal best, 29.1. Ocon now is the man behind, and he's out of DRS 1.1. The gap. Perez came in, so Perez could be going for the 2-stop here. Okay, maybe not. I just caught a glimpse of Perez going onto the medium, so that's a very early stop for medium tyres from Sergio Perez there. We're going to stay on these for now. Perez might undercut me, but I'm not too concerned because I've got good pace on these. Also, I can't really respond to these pit stops because my tyre wear is a lot higher than the AI's, hence why I'm on the softs when everyone else is on super softs. Either way, we're coming in lap 11, that's our scheduled pit stop lap. We've got 2 laps to go. Ocon stays out for a bit longer, but now I'm going to crank up to Rich mix. I've got enough, I think, to run 2 laps in Rich, so now we're going to really try and push into that 1 minute 28 and really push as hard as we can now. It's amazing what a difference Rich mix does on the straights and the overall power of the car. Ocon comes in, but I'll really push hard that lap, 28.6. Those are the sort of lap times we want, only a couple of tenths shy of the fastest laps of the Grand Prix. So we're looking very good. We're coming in this lap. Let's make this in lap a good one. Interesting there. So Ocon goes for the soft. So split strategies at Force India. Ocon's definitely going to be a bigger threat. If he's ahead of Perez now after this pit stop, he's going to be a real threat. Here we go then into the pit lane for our first and only stop of the Grand Prix. Let's make sure we get it all slowed down to 60. Very slow pit lane, and there we go. Nice entry. Make sure we get it all turned down, lead mix enabled. Let's save a little bit of fuel in the pit lane, but we should be okay to rejoin the lead here. Medium tyre selected, yep, very good. Right, we're ready to go. So a very long pit lane. This is one of the slowest ones, if not, I think this might be the slowest one on the calendar. Ocon's 31 seconds of drift. That makes you realise how much time you lose. It's like a 30-second pit lane, but anyway, a 1.9 pit stop, absolutely phenomenal stuff. So we're going to get these to the end of the race quite comfortably now, these tyres. Ocon will be faster and he will be a threat with that pace on those softs. I do feel like I might have extended the gap though a little bit, so let's see how that pans out. But at a standard mix, off the limiter now, on the pit exit, and Ocon is now coming to turn 1 now, so we've definitely got the gap out a little bit, but he's probably going to catch me up on that tyre though. Let's settle into this now. 13 laps, 14 laps to go. Let's try and win this race. Palmer comes in, so we're going to re-inherit the race lead, and now we've got 2.7 seconds on Ocon through sector 2. I want to see what the gap is now across the line to get an idea what sort of pace he's running at, but there is someone behind Ocon who I'll find out right now who it is, but he's running at some incredible pace, and it's Perez on the mediums. He's faster than Ocon at the minute, so Perez might not still be out of this. Pace is good, we're keeping the gap to Ocon 2.8, very solid. We're running the high 1 minute 28, so we're looking very good in this tyre. It's better than I expected actually. Matching my personal best, gap now to 3 seconds, slowly creeping up, but we've got great pace in this tyre. Whoa, 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 look who we have in the pit lane. It's Mr. Felipe Massa, who's going to get lapped. So Massa struggling here in this race, really can't get going. I think that's only his second stop of the race. I can't believe how consistent and equal the pace is. We're lapping consistently in those mid to high 28s, and right now that gap is just sitting at 3 seconds, 2.9, 2.8 with the Ocon, and Perez just can't get past him, so literally nothing is happening. This race might need a safety car to spice it up, but personally I want to take the W, as there is a yellow flag in sector 2 as I just called it. Will that trigger anything? I guess as I say that I just might have jinxed myself. It looks like nothing's coming out just yet, so we might have got away with that one. Okay, we have movement. Perez has passed Ocon. Let's see what Sergio's pace is like, and will he catch me up? 2.8 is the gap as it stands, with 6 laps to go. Perez and Ocon are battling again here, which is allowing me to break away. Ocon looks like he's taken second place back from his teammate again, and maybe now he's realised he's got soft tyres in the car, but either way, for me now, it is time to improve my personal best, and I'm going to go and improve even more now as I crank it up to Rich Mix to really get the hammer down and put this thing to bed. There we go, 28.2, really putting the hammer down. I reckon I can dip into a 27 if I get the lap right, but we got the gap out of 3.6 now to Esteban Ocon. Bear in mind, this is also my way of having some fun and some entertainment in the last part of the race. 28.0, that's probably the best I can do. I'm not going to dip into a 27 now, so we'll just sit on that. 4.1 the gap. Ocon has re-overtaken Perez, so the full scene is sort of now just battling over pride for second place. 3 laps to go, and looks like we're well on to win this race. Just getting a bit loose through there. First signs the tyres might be letting go of me, but either way, I'm not going to complain. The tyres have been very good to me, these mediums. I've been very impressed, and every single lap around here, I really love this track with these cars now. Every lap just feels like a qualifying lap, and I absolutely love it. Right then, here we go on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. We're looking now on to win this. We've now just turned down the engine a bit and not pushing as much, 8 tenths off the pace that lap, but the gap is still 4.2, so here we go, let's bring it home. Here we go then into the chicane for the final time. It's been a dominant performance, really, really classy performance, no mistakes made, led from start to finish, in control at all times, and we come through to win the British Grand Prix, and another 25 points on the board, and I think that's our 4th race win in a row or something, absolutely ridiculous like that, but either way, we win in amongst a lot of screen freezing there, and overall I'm very, very happy. And if that is how Williams' career ends, I couldn't be any happy, because I really have got Williams back to where they need to be, and I've already purchased an upgrade for them in the next race. Hopefully that air upgrade arrives and they can push their car forward a little bit more, but I've done my bit. I've got Williams back up to the top. Now the question is, we're going to find out whether we are going to drive the rest of the season with Williams or we move team, because I can tell you guys this is probably going to be the last season of the career mode on this year's F1 2017 game. So hopefully we can make it worthwhile. But anyway, there's your front three, and we're now going to move into the final race results, drivers and constructor standings. We win ahead of Esteban Ocon and Sergio Perez. Right, so looking at the final race results, we win ahead of Esteban Ocon and Sergio Perez. Vettel manages P4 in the Ferrari, and Hamilton only manages P5 in the Mercedes in also his home race. Those two guys, Hamilton on a two-stop, and so was on a two-stop. Kimi Raikkonen in the other Ferrari. Romain Grosjean best of the rest in the Haas car there in P7 from P13 on the grid. Very good result for him there. And Valtteri Bottas only P8 in the Mercedes. Alonso scoring good points, 2 points from McLaren to be precise in P9, with Verstappen bringing out top 10 of Ricciardo missing out in P12 there. But in terms of the driver standings, we are 75 points clear going into the second half of the season, and we are going into Hungary next, and our nearest challenger is not Vettel, it's Sergio Perez. So quite surprising there. Esteban Ocon gets himself up the order, and Hamilton only in P7 there in the championship, really not getting going at all there. And we've got 121 points to Kimi Raikkonen, so we're really doing well at the minute. And in terms of the constructors, we are 36 points clear at the top, and all of this could be potentially our last race for Williams. So it is time. I'm going to go have a look and see if we've received any contract offers.
Hey, quick question. How are you here? Are you happy? I mean, obviously, I hope so, but you do have some other options if you're up for a new challenge. Let me just grab the door. I had a call from another team a few weeks ago. Well, things have moved on since then. These are the offers I've managed to put together for you. You don't have to do anything with them, but let me know what you think.
Right then, this is it. We've got the offers, and it's the 3 best teams in the grid, excluding Force India. Now, there was a lot of comments, and I got a lot of these comments over the entire 7 seasons of the career mode, and I kept on saying no. Everybody wanted me to go to Ferrari because it's Ferrari. It's no secret that I do like Ferrari, and also, yeah, I always said I'm going to leave it because the series is going to get too boring, and there's no point in really doing it because I'm going to make it very boring. I'm going to win every race because Ferrari have been the dominant team for all 7 seasons, and they've been the fastest. And as you can see in the R&D chart below, they are the fastest. They got caught up earlier on this season, but they just brought a couple of upgrades at one point, and they just completely stormed ahead again. But, this is probably going to be the last season of this career mode, so I thought for 10 races or so, for the second half of the season, I thought I may as well go for it. So, for the benefit of the series, and for those who have been asking for it for ages, for the minority that are in my shoes and understand and think like me, when I say it's going to be a bit of a boring one, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to myself because I said I wouldn't do this, but you know what? There's only 10 races left to go. It's only half a season, so you know what? It's time to change team, guys, and we are going to Scuderia Ferraris. And the next race in Hungary, you will see me in red colours. And there it is. It's done. So I want to go into this classic event, and you'll see me in the next episode, guys, in Hungary as a Ferrari driver. If you enjoyed this episode of Career Mode, guys, leave a like on the video. Let's try and smash 200 likes for this episode. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, and also do turn on notifications to not miss a single upload from me from any of the daily content I put up over the summer. And also do be sure to check out these 2 videos on screen if you have missed them by chance. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to the second half of the season, and hopefully you look forward to it with me. Goodbye.